Hi everybody, this is set number 3 of the academic word list for words that go from G through to J. I hope you enjoyed the first 2 sets and this is the last one here. As always, we will do some exercises, then look at the answers. And I have about 4 different groups of words to go through in set number 3. Let's get started. Here is the first group: insight, inspect, instance. Institute, instruct, integral. For this first exercise, I'd like you to match the following explanations to the academic words that I have just read out there. This is the first explanation: to give someone information on how to complete a task. A new discovery that tells us more about something. To consider something carefully to see if it is right or wrong. An example of something happening. An organization that has a specific function. When an element is an essential component of a system. There we go. Think about your answers. Match them with the appropriate word. And of course, next we will look at the answers. Here is the answer key for this first group. Instruct, to give someone information on how to complete a task. Insight, a new discovery that tells us more about something. Inspect, to consider something carefully to see if it is right or wrong. Instance, an example of something happening. Institute, an organization that has a specific function. And then integral, when an element is an essential component of a system. All right, I hope you matched those successfully. Let's move on and work on the second group of words. Here are the words from the academic word list: integrate, integrity, intelligence, intense, interact, intermediate. For this exercise, I'd like you to complete the spaces in the following sentences with the correct word. Here is the first sentence. Blank blank may be defined in many different ways, such as logical, emotional, and spatial. Employee gatherings are often used so that people from different parts of the organization can blank blank together. As a leader, you show blank blank when you do what you say. On this blank blank training course, you will be studying 7 days a week for 11 hours each day. That doesn't sound much fun, does it? The soldiers learned the local culture and language so that they could blank blank better. Here is the last sentence. Water is a blank blank form between ice and steam. A science sentence there for you. All right, pause the video here and fill in the gaps. Remember, it is a good idea to do these exercises in full. They will help you to improve your ability to use this vocabulary. And then after that, you can see the answer key. Here is the answer key then. We start with intelligence. Intelligence may be defined in many different ways, such as logical, emotional, and spatial. Interact. Employee gatherings are often used so that people from different parts of the company can interact together. Integrity. As a leader, you show integrity when you do what you say. Intense. On this intense training course, you will be studying 7 days a week and 11 hours a day. Integrate. The soldiers learned the local culture and language so that they could integrate better. And lastly, intermediate. Water is an intermediate form between ice and steam. Did you fill in the gaps properly? I hope so, and I hope these examples are helping you to understand the vocabulary. Let's keep going. Keep your power up. We have a couple more groups to do, and moving on to the next group then in this set. Here are the academic words that we're going to practice. Internal, interpret, interval, intervene, intrinsic, and invest. Do you know these words? Remember, you can go ahead and look them up, do a quick Google search if you're not sure. You can stop this video anytime. For practice, I'd like you to look at the sentences I read out and identify the word that is incorrect. Replace it with the appropriate word from the list on the left. Here we go. This is the first sentence. Market research is invested to a successful marketing campaign. The flight was scheduled to take off at 12, but a terrible storm interpreted. People are motivated by external and interval stimuli. Banks will only increase in ventures that they consider to be low risk. Smartphones are using AI to interfere from one language to another. And AI, of course, here means artificial intelligence. And the last one, the best way to study is in intervals of 45 minutes with 10-minute breaks in between. Take your time. Read the sentences carefully. Which word does not fit and makes this sentence either crazy, confusing, or just plain wrong? Replace it with the correct word from the academic word list. All right? And as always, next up is the answers. Here are the answers then. We begin with intrinsic. Market research is intrinsic to a successful marketing campaign. Intervene. The flight was scheduled to take off at 12, but a terrible storm intervened. Internal. People are motivated by external and internal stimuli. I'm sure you got that one, didn't you? Invest. Banks will only invest in ventures which they consider to be low risk. Interpret. Smartphone apps are using AI to interpret from one language to another. And finally, it is interval. The best way to study is in intervals of 45 minutes, with 10-minute breaks in between. And yes, that is good advice. So for those of you who are students, please have a go at applying this little piece of advice. All right, I hope you were able to pick out the incorrect words and replace them properly. We have one more group of words to do, so let's move on and look at this group. This list is slightly longer. Here are the words we're going to practice. Investigate, invoke, involve, isolate, issue, item, and justify. Just one J word here. To practice this, we're going to look at explanations. So see if you can match the explanation with the words. All right, here is the first one. To provide an explanation for ideas, theories, or opinions. To release a letter, book, or work of art to the public. To apply a law or rule in order to achieve something. To separate a person or animal so that it is away from others. To bring in the assistance of an extra person or institution. To find out the facts about an event, a general object or point on a list. And I think you know that one, don't you? Okay, match the words to the explanations, and next up is the answer key. Here is the answer key. Let's match these words up, shall we? And we'll start with the J, just one J word here, justify. To provide an explanation for ideas, theories, or opinions. Issue, to release a letter, book, or work of art into the public. So here we have issue as a verb. Remember, it is also a noun, meaning topic or problem. Invoke, to apply a law or rule in order to achieve something. Isolate, to separate a person or animal so that it is away from others. Involve, to bring in the assistance of an extra person or institution. Investigate, to find out about the facts of an event. And finally, the match is item, a general object or point on a list. All right, well done, ladies and gentlemen. We have covered 4 groups in this final set number 3 of AW words going from G through to J. I hope you learned a lot of vocabulary here, and just to close this lesson, let's review all of the words that I've covered in set number 3. Insight, inspect, instance, institute, instruct, integral, integrate, integrity, intelligence, intense, interact, intermediate, internal, interpret, interval, intervene, intrinsic, invest, investigate, invoke, involve, isolate, issue, item, justify. They are all the words. Fantastic! We're covering so much ground, and this academic word list is really going to help you boost your vocabulary power when you are using academic English in your presentations or writing your papers and assignments. Please remember, if you have any questions about the content of these lessons, just make a question in the students area. I will look at them and answer as best I can. Anyway, that is the end of set number 3 in this particular section. So now we move on to the next section of words, and we go through to a different group of letters. So I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Thank you. Bye-bye.